Dean from QuickSprout, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use ScrapeBox, which is just an incredible white hat link building tool. Before I get into that, let me just show you why this tool is so helpful. So let's say you were in the cooking or baking niche and you wanted to find a bunch of resource pages to place links on. Well, you could do a search like this within Google, baking plus in URL links. But as you can see, there's 119,000 results. So the only way to look at each page, you'd have to go one by one down the list, which obviously is very time consuming, if not impossible. But let's say you also wanted to look up cooking. And as you might guess, a lot of these results will overlap. So you'd have to find duplicates somehow and get rid of them. And with ScrapeBox, this makes the whole process very easy. And you can search many search strings simultaneously within Google search. So it's just an awesome tool that makes the process of link prospecting much easier. So without further ado, let's get into how ScrapeBox works. Okay, now it's time to give you an overview of the features of ScrapeBox. In a later video, I'll go into how to use these in more detail, but this is just to give you an idea of what ScrapeBox is and how to use it. So the first section, the upper right hand corner, is the harvester area. And this is where you put in your footprints. Now as you can see, there's 4 options here: custom footprint, WordPress, blog engine, and movable type. And what this is are built-in footprints that ScrapeBox uses to find certain content management systems. So if you wanted to find only WordPress blogs, you could choose WordPress and then put in keywords like SEO, link building, and whatever, and it would use search strings that help you find WordPress blogs. But that's usually used for spamming blog comment purposes, and that's not how we're going to use ScrapeBox today. So I like to keep it here on the custom footprint area. So that just makes it easy. This is similar to searching in Google. So you put in baking plus in URL links. But what makes ScrapeBox so great is that you can also put in cooking plus in URL links and as many search strings as you want. And it'll search for them simultaneously and give you the results. And as I'll show you how to do in another video, you can delete the duplicate results very easily. So once you have your search strings here, your next step is to go down here to the select engines and proxies area. So let's first talk about select engines. Now this is where you search which search engine you want to use. So in this case, we're going to use Google, obviously, but you can also choose Yahoo and Bing and AOL. So to do that, you just click on each one that you want to search for, and I recommend always using Google, and optionally you can use Yahoo, Bing, and AOL. Now under the results area, you can choose how many results deep you want to go with your search. So if you wanted only the top 50 results, you put in 50. But if you want to find a lot of targets, you can put this up to whatever, 2,000, and it'll scrape all the results in Google, Yahoo, Bing, and AOL up to the 2,000th results. Now I don't recommend that. I like going to maybe 200 because I find that after 200, the quality of the results gets quite low, because as you know, Google is very good at determining the best sites, and anything beyond the 20th page usually isn't very good. So next we'll talk about proxies, and I do recommend using proxies. And to just use proxies, you click on this box here and it'll automatically use the proxies that you have down here. Now if you're not tech oriented like me, fortunately using proxies is very easy, and it's something I'll go over in another video. But basically, a proxy is just a different IP address that you can use remotely. Okay, so if you were to use ScrapeBox from your home or office, you'd use your home IP address, and you could do that a couple times. But actually, scraping is against Google's terms of service. So if you did it often enough, your IP address could get blacklisted, which is obviously not good. So to combat that, you can use these proxy address, and each one is a different server that will do the scraping for you, and that way you can never get your IP blacklisted. So if one of these gets blacklisted, it's just a matter of swapping out, and there's some free and paid resources to use, which I'll show you later, and it's very straightforward. Next is the URLs harvested area, and this is where your results come in. So once you do add these search strings, your proxies are all set, and you've determined your search engines that you want to use, you click on the Start Harvesting button, and this will populate with URLs. I'll actually show you right now. So this is how it works. When you press start harvesting, you can see that it gives you all this information about the connections, which is the servers that it's using via proxies, the results that it gets, how fast it's going, how many of your IPs are blacklisted, and obviously we're using proxies. So sometimes, depending on the proxies that you use, it can be faster or slower. Okay, and now your URLs harvested list is populated with results. Actually 1,342 results to be exact. So that's a lot of results. Now this is where the manage lists area of ScrapeBox becomes very important, because this has a number of features that you can use to clean up this list, and I'll go over those in a later video. But you can do things like trim to the URL to the root domain. So if you're just looking for sites and not pages, that's a very useful feature. You can check the page rank, you can sort by page rank, and do a lot of things to clean up the list to make your link building efforts more effective. Finally, there's the comment poster area, and this is something I'm not going to talk about in the video, because this is really a black hat strategy for mass blog comment spam. And while that's obviously up to you whether or not you use that strategy, it's not something I know about, and it's not something I recommend. So we're just going to ignore this whole comment poster area of ScrapeBox and stick to the harvester, URLs harvester, and select engines and proxies area to do our link prospecting. So that's it for ScrapeBox. I hope this helps you unintimidate from ScrapeBox, because I know when I first saw it I was kind of like, what is this? It's crazy looking. But it's actually really easy to use and intuitive, and this gives you a nice overview of the features. And in other videos I'm going to go over how to use ScrapeBox and how to use it effectively to get awesome link prospects very quickly. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.